conservatives, the Labour pushed up, offered alternative immigration possibilities, and it looks like a lot of people embraced it. And it didn't just start with the UK yesterday. The wave began in France last weekend when Emmanuel Macron lost his election to the far left candidate, rather, Marine Le Pen. And a lot of people also said, hey, the United States election is also coming up in November, and on the back of the last debate between the immediate past president of the United States, Donald Trump, and the Portuguese that's president of the United States presently, President Joe Biden, and a lot of Democrats are beginning to say, you know what, maybe it's time we sit back and review some of the things that we have. Maybe President Joe Biden may not be able to be the candidates again to drive the chances of the Democrats. It's just been so much, and it's been tough, and across board the issue of immigration, immigrants, the chances, job opportunities has been at the forefront of all of these conversations. I'm going to be linking up with 3 different people, God willing, all the way from the United Kingdom today on the show, and 2 Nigerians, and a Caucasian friend of mine that works at the University of Sunderland. He's going to be joining us to take us through what the whole experience is like. I have Mr. Danny Williams. He's in Scotland at the moment, and he's joining me via the phone to take us through what the whole experience had been like. Well, good evening, Mr. Williams, and thank you for joining me live in the Situation Room.
Good evening, OPEYEMI.
Thank you very much for finding time to be with me. I know every minute, every second, every hour is very important, especially for people on the old shifts conversation. So once again, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So let's get straight up into the conversation. The United Kingdom election was held yesterday, the 4th of July. That coincidentally happened to be the Independence Day of America. And the Tories had their worst defeat in over 100 years history of the party. But more importantly, the Labour took over power as Keir Starmer becomes the Prime Minister designate. For Rishi Sunak, it's been about immigration, Brexit, stability, employment, tax, and all. And then the wave began in France last weekend. Emmanuel Macron, and then Marine Le Pen, the far left candidate, and everybody knows her position about immigration. She's 100% anti-immigrant. But let's focus on the UK, and it's not just going to be about the UK. Even the United States election is very much on the horizon. The debate is getting hot. So over the weekend, the first round of 3 debates that is expected to be held between the candidate of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, that's Donald Trump, the immediate past president, and Joe Biden, the current president of the United States. As it is now, all attention has been on the United Kingdom in the last 1 week. But before we go into the old Tory, the old Labour, the old Sunak, the old Starmer conversation, Mr. Williams, this is the first time you voted in the United Kingdom after relocating. Talk to us about that experience for someone that had participated in election in Nigeria over the last maybe 30 years or thereabouts, or let me just limit it from 1999 till now. What was the experience for you voting yesterday?
Yeah, it's totally different. Let me start from that. It's totally different. In Nigeria, we're used to the elaborate elections, the campaign, the primaries and all that. It's quite different here. Different parties were campaigning. Okay, you get mails with their manifestos about why you should vote for them by mail, so you could read about what they want to offer you from the comfort of your living room while watching TV, while pressing your phone. You get to decide on what political party you vote for based on the things they are telling you, based on the things they are sending to you as their manifesto. So it was quite different. And on the election day itself, everybody was going about their business, because if you won't be able to go cast your vote, you could request for a postal vote, and you could send your vote by post. So the election did not disturb the day-to-day activities of the country. Everybody went up their businesses, and I left home that day, and I think I left home around 12, my wife and my baby, and in under 5 minutes we're done. From the accreditation to the voting itself, under 5 minutes, we were done. It was as fast as that. Because, there's documentation. There's no stress trying to recognize you or trying to locate what ward are you coming from, let me see your PVC. Just bring out your ID card. Once you have your ID card, the cross check if your address, your name is there, and you're voting. So it's as simple as that.
So you spend about 5 minutes to exercise your franchise.
5 minutes.
That's interesting. 5 hours. We're still waiting for election material here. But it's okay. Yes. We'll get there. And before we get into even the main crux of the conversation today, I'm sure you follow the whole election process. I see your post on social media. I see your engagement. I see all of that. Take us through the things you feel Nigerians can learn from that election. Don't forget that United Kingdom colonized us in this country. Well, almost practicing their own pattern of government, even though we don't have prime minister. We'll find a way to, but you understand the whole relationship. And the issue of immigration all through the campaign, we'll come to that much later. But what do you think should be the takeaways for Nigerians as an experience for you being a first-time voter in the UK?
We need to be more organized. We need to be more organized. We need to be more digital. We need to have more documentation. It makes life easier. The whole election process was made easy because there was proper documentation of our citizens. As long as you're living in the UK, you're working in the UK, they know where you stay, they know who you are, understand? So it was easy for them to calculate these total numbers of people that will be voting from this place, bring out their names, easy to trace their names. We need to be more documented, we need to be more organized, we need to do things more by the books. Everything we shouldn't just do things like, okay, let's just do it. We should do it because of documentation, because of accountability. Nigeria needs to be more organized. That's just it. Simple as ABC. So we need to be more organized. When we are more organized, it makes life easier.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that period where we would be more organized, where I would probably spend just 5 minutes at the poll and just exercise my franchise without fear, without bottles being thrown, without thugs coming in to interrupt the voting process, without complaints of our card reader is not loading, or PVC is not this, BVN is not sending results, and all of that. I'm really looking forward to that time. And one of the reasons why I reached out to you was that I know that you are one of those people, while you were in Nigeria, I've always followed what you do, and I know that you've always been involved in election in this country. So I really wanted to get an idea of what the experience is, the transition from, in quotes, this country to sane society, like we'd always say. But let's leave that. This is on record the worst performance for the Tories in their 109 years history. In fact, less than 2 hours into the election, the numbers are already flying out. Even though, I mean, lucky enough, Sunik was able to retain his own seat. However, the Labour had a landslide victory. Take us through what you noticed in their campaigns around immigration, around employment, around Brexit, around tax conversation. Take us through those things that you think really affected Sunik, who is coincidentally also, in fact, a full-blown immigrant. Talk to us about that, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, the thing is, prior to the election, a lot of red flags has been showing as touching the Conservatives. Maybe they choose to ignore, they feel they could turn things around before the election. I don't know, a lot of red flags when we talk about high cost of living, immigration problems with NHS funding, economy, among a lot of things. These have been the red flags that has been showing itself before the election, understand. British was there in the corner, so trying to pull down the government. A lot of things has been happening that the government has been ignoring. Like you said, this is far worse. Their far worse outing since over 100 years. The big wigs, top politicians and Conservatives lost their seat. Liz Truss was the former prime minister. She also lost. So that's to show you how devastating the outing was for them. But a lot of things contributed to this loss. The primary reason I have to say is NHS. That's it. See, in the UK, they believe NHS is the king. Is the king of all they do in the UK. Yes, of all policies. They so much love the NHS. They so much cherish the NHS. Even the Conservatives over time speaks highly of how important, understand, the NHS is to the country. But the thing is, their actions and their word does not match. You are telling us, okay, NHS is the most important, is the most visible. We're not funding the NHS properly. See, the number of people waiting for medical aid in the UK is very, very high. Since the Conservative came to power, it's tripled the number of waiting lists that they do have, like normally, but now it's 3 times that number. There's no proper funding for the NHS. You are saying this is the most important policy of the government, but you are not funding it. So when your words does not match your actions, people lose interest in the government. Then immigration too. We've had a lot of talks, different week, you see different policies about immigration. Today you see these policies, tomorrow you see these policies. It's not really helping issues. The UK, someone was saying, okay, he wants to do his best, understand, to cut short illegal entrance into the UK. He went far back as bringing the Rwanda policy, understand. So if you're coming to the UK, you're an immigrant and you seek for asylum, instead of staying in the UK, you'll be moved to Rwanda, understand, pending the time your asylum will be approved. But the thing is, it's been 2 years since this policy was being announced. Till today, no plane has left the UK for Rwanda. That policy in itself failed. A lot of billions of pounds was pumped into this policy for it to work, but it's not working. British is there on the side. The thing is, a lot of things have been contributing to it. Every day, the cost of goods and services is rising in the UK. You ask an average, UK citizen that what's up with the government, they'll tell you that Sunak is only making the rich richer and the poor poorer. Because none of the policies he has been introduced, understand, is really helping the common man. Because here in the UK, if you are not working, you are not eating. And that's the fact, understand. So policies that it's not even making things life easier for the common man is what it brings about every day. Every day, a lot of survey was done prior to this election, and I'll tell you, immigration, NHS, high cost of living, economy is always topping the list. It's always topping the list of every survey. So the thing is, he has been saying the handwriting on the wall, and they have not been doing anything to help the issue. Nothing has been done to curb the excess. You say, okay, you want to tackle immigration, but the thing is, what you are tackling is the skilled immigrants that come from countries like Nigeria, Ghana, who contribute their quota to the economy. Illegal entrants that come into the UK, most of which are Pakistan, Indians, nothing is being done about these people. Do you know the major beneficiary of this British are Indians? Because with British, there are a lot of restrictions in the movement, a lot of medical doctors from European countries, due to the restriction movement, can't come to the UK because to work and all that. Over 2,000 doctors was employed from India just to cover up. You want to tackle illegal immigrants, but you are swaying to one place more than the other place. So a lot of these issues has been coming up prior to the election. Before election, everybody knew the Conservatives were going. Everybody knew the Conservatives were going. So the Labour Party were so confident that they were going to win the election.
Mr. Williams, now let's talk about immigration. I know that, and this is not just the UK alone, even in France, one of the things that the far left have been using to campaign in France is the fact that the immigrants are taking the jobs, immigrants are making life difficult for French-born naturals to get on with their careers and all of that. And this same echo is also raising in Canada. The United States is also struggling with the whole funding, the position of Joe Biden with the war in between Ukraine and Russia. Even Germany, there's also strong clampdown on conversation around immigration as well. How big was the immigration policies of Sunak or the Tory generally in the outcome of this election?
Very, very big. Very, very big. Almost all Nigerian WhatsApp group associations that I know told their members to vote against Tories. Because the policies you bring into place is not favorable to them. Okay, you want us to come to your country to offer services, help take care of your people, make the people feel comfortable, but you want me to leave my family and they come back home in Nigeria. How do you expect me to provide the top-notch services when I'm not, happy about the living conditions of my family back home in Nigeria? So the thing is, any African that just voted for Tories maybe did that of ignorance. A lot of, I would say, majority of the African countries voted against them, and that's the truth. The policies as touching immigration was not really helping at all. If you could notice, the influx of people coming from Nigeria to the UK has even reduced because what is the sense of spending Nigeria to come to the UK
when
and leaving your family back home?
Families over.
Yes. So immigration was one of the reasons why they lost. Top 3 in my books: immigration.
You want to talk about
economy,
the other 2?
Economy, NHS funding, and immigration.
Well, for the people that may be wondering what the NHS is, well, it is the umbrella term for the publicly funded healthcare system of the United Kingdom. It covers NHS Scotland, NHS England, and NHS Wales. So it's more like a public funding covering all of the health issues in the United Kingdom generally. So, and if you understand how it works, people don't joke with their health. So when you have a lot of people on the waiting list to get medical care, to get cancer treatment, to get organ transplant, is getting more and more by the day. I also followed all of the build up to the election, and I will tell you for a fact that, I mean, even in terms of employment, the numbers don't even look exactly bad for Tory. The numbers look quite stable with all of the chaos around Brexit. It looks like Cynic came in with some form of stability, but when the immigration law started coming up, it became a big factor. But going forward, what do you think the Labour did differently this time around? They've been out of power for about 14 years, but now that they've got into office, what dimension of leadership do you think Keir Starmer will be bringing into the United Kingdom as the Prime Minister?
Yeah, I listened to his speech earlier, and he said about kicking the ground running. Because even today, I think. So
wait, sorry, Mr. Williams. When you heard the word "kicking the ground running," does it ring a bell to you?
Yeah. I'm having a PTSD hearing those words because we heard those words in Nigeria, and we know where we are now. So I don't want to provide that route.
I'm sure you'll be wondering that which ground are you hitting running this time around?
We don't want that kind of ground. No, we don't want that kind of ground, please. But I think it's doing things differently because in Nigeria, when we hear the kick the ground running, it took us a month for us to start having our ministers. According to what he said today, I think by tomorrow we'll start seeing the
cabinet to be out
of the cabinet members. So it's as serious as that. That is prepared for the government. You understand? So I feel they are capitalizing on all the mistakes the Tories did, and they want to make that kind of mistakes. To be very, very candid, Mr. Sunak scored poorly in a lot of issues concerning the UK people. During his period as Prime Minister, the country recorded the lowest growth rate since the early 19th century.
True.
Yes. High cost of living was high. You understand? The GDP, the GDP per capita, they recorded it over 14 years of their government was just 4.3%. As against I think I read something 46% in the 16 previous years of the former government. So the Labour Party saw all this, capitalized on their mistakes, and I'm sure they want to avoid most of this stuff. The UK is not like Nigeria where we vote by emotion. If they are not performing, they know they'll be down.
They'll throw you
That's
out.
the truth. That's the truth. So the people are waiting. The people are watching. Okay, you are coming. You said you want to see the ground running. Let's see what you want to do. If you are not doing according to what you plan, according to what you promised the people, my person, you are out. There's no emotions in this thing. See, the thing is, the Tories lost a lot of seats they are not supposed to lose in this election. That was baffling. Understand? Seats they've had for over 100 years, they lost it. That shows that the people are not voting with emotions right about now. They want to vote on based on what do you want to offer to us. What are you bringing to the table? Is your word matching your actions? If your word is not matching your actions, you are going. So the new prime minister, let's say he wants to keep the ground running. We are waiting. We are watching. As touching immigration, as touching NHS funding, the economy, the cost of living generally. Let's see. We're all watching. We're all waiting and watching.
Now let me also say this. Maybe the shortest serving prime minister in the modern history of the United Kingdom, that's Liz Truss. She also lost her seat. A whole former prime minister under the Conservative lost her seat as well. And I'm going to bring in the narrative. If you were on X yesterday and then you saw the response after the Labour Party presidential candidate at the last election in Nigeria, Mr. Peter Obi, tweeted in support of Labour. He said vote Labour on Thursday, 4th of July. And I saw the tweet, and we'll come back to that conversation if it's necessary. But let's look at the way forward for Tory. Sunak is still within the parliament. He was lucky enough to retain his seat. But the numbers and the stats are crazy. With almost all of the seats counted as at yesterday, Labour had won 411 constituencies. That's about 67.7% of the seats available, with a vote share of about 39.8%. In fact, Labour secured over 700,000 more than they had during Coben in 2019. So, with all of this issue right now, what is the next thing for Tory? I mean, it's almost like it's a bad day in the office for them. The worst in their 109 years history. Unfortunately for Sunak, the man that actually spearheaded that defeat is still within is still in government, but he's not in power. That's two different things. What is the next line of action for Tory right now? That's the Conservatives.
Yeah, like you rightly said, it was a bad outing for them. They lost 250 seats this last election, and Labour got over 211 new seats in that stand to their name. I think they need to go back to the drawing table, identify their mistakes, and look for ways to work it around it. The thing is, like I rightly said, the UK it's not Nigeria where we vote based on emotions or party understand or party affiliation. They vote based on the merit of what you've done and what you are doing. So if the Labour Party choose not to deliver on their promises, they'll be going, and the Tories has a chance to capitalize on that the same way the Labour Party capitalized on their own mistake and are now in power. So what they need to do is to go back to the drawing board, identify their mistake, and see what they can do to better the lot. And the thing is, immigration is still going to play a huge determinant on what's going to happen in subsequent elections. So over the few weeks or months, we'll try to see the policies the Labour Party will bring in as touching immigration. So that's where it starts from. Because if they continue the path the Tories continue to now, that means their government is failing right from the start.
Thank you very much.
Get it right
from the start, it could be a problem. Mr. Williams is joining me from Scotland via the phone. In case you're just tuning in, you're live on Mainland 98.3 FM, and this is the Situation Room. The Labour Party has won the UK general election in a landslide victory, which does usher in Keir Starmer as the new Prime Minister. They said the change is here. And when we hear things like change, renewed hope, a new time is here, a new dawn is a revolution, all of this just kind of how do I put it now, send some funny impression to our minds. By the way, Mr. Denny Williams is a first-time voter in the United Kingdom, and he has shared his experience with us, or more importantly, what led to the disastrous outing of the Conservatives in the just concluded election. I mean, the voting started at 7 a.m. and by 10 o'clock, they were done. I'm not sure, with all of the videos and pictures that I saw, I didn't see where people cooked to polling units, where people were sitting gisting with old friends. I didn't see anybody bring food. I didn't see any party agents come and share money. I didn't see police officers at polling units. It's just a whole lot of experience, and that's why the fact I'm not even there. That's why I decided to have people that participated in the election and take us through it. Now, before I let you go, Mr. Williams, the post-election responses. Talk to us. What is the feeling in Scotland right now? Let me say United Kingdom generally. As against what we have here, I read somewhere that 10 Downing Street is empty already. Sunak is out already. They're already rearranging the place for Starmer to come in. Life had moved on.
Yeah.
Everybody is moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to us. What difference does that give you in terms of feeling from where you're coming from and where you are right now?
Yeah, like I said, they are more organized. The thing is, everybody knew they were leaving months before this election.
Are you serious?
So a lot of people were not surprised.
Wow.
Yes, a lot of people were not surprised to the outcome of this election. Me being one of them, understand? So the handwriting has been on the wall for quite a number of time. He knew it was going to go. If you saw yesterday, he was so desperate. He was tweeting and tweeting almost every minute.
That would be the next question I'll ask you because I saw Sunak arranging bread in bakery, going to local stores, tweet almost about 44.
Politicians are one everywhere.
That's exactly what I want to hear from you.
That is the only similarity I can see between our politicians. He was sharing palliatives.
He was distributing donuts. He was arranging bread in bakeries.
McDonald's, he was sharing McDonald's food everywhere. He was so desperate. And he has seen the handwriting on the wall, but he just could not want to believe that it was going. Yesterday, he was tweeting so vigorously, trying to tell people not to vote for the Labour. He was tweeting almost every minute. It shows the actions of the desperate man. I wish he had done a lot of things to avert this, but a lot of people saw the handwriting on the wall, so it's just normal. People were already expecting the Labour Party to come in and let us see what they have to offer. So the mood is just that of an expectation. People are expecting to see what these people are going to do differently. Are they going to fulfill what the process? The manifesto they were sending to almost everybody. I got like 4 or 5 by mail of things they want to do. Are they going to fulfill at
by mail?
Yeah, by mail.
I'm not even sure your political party in Nigeria or
do we have a mailing system in Nigeria? That's the question.
Interesting, Mr. Williams. Interesting. Now before I would certainly have to let you go now because I have to link up with someone else also at from University of Scotland, Sunderland. The whole narrative body seems to be asking for something different from the protest office of the First Lady and Second Lady, closing down about 42 ministries and collapsing a lot of agencies in Kenya, reversing the finance bill, deciding not to sign it, and look at what is happening or what happened and look at where Emmanuel Macron is. The United States election is also giving a funny vibe. A lot of people are saying the United States voter may be caught by the Senate, but he's had a lot of convictions and a lot of issues on him, a lot of allegations. But now we have a POTUS, that's the President of the United States, Joe Biden, that a lot of people are worried about his mental health, more especially his physical strength to go through the rigor of the campaign process. Even Barack Obama had to come out and tweet that there are days where you have a bad debate. That's a response to the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump last weekend. People are already saying maybe it's time for the Democrats to start building up Kamala Harris, the vice president. Maybe she should be the candidate of the party, that's the Democrat. So it looks like there's a wave that is building, and at the forefront of this are young people. In Kenya, for instance, the Gen Zs have driven the government to their knee. The parliamentarians are now going to their constituencies to apologize for their role in the finance bill. Look at what happened in UK. Young people drove the campaign against the Tory and gave them their worst defeat in over 100 years. Look at what happened in the far left as well. Campuses were taken over by the far leftists in their campaigns. Mr. Williams, whatever it is that is happening where you are, in a society that is maybe working, let me put it that way, what echoes do you think this narrative that I've painted is sending back home to us in Nigeria?
We need to sit tight. The thing is, like you said, everybody is asking questions now. We just don't Gone are the days of do this and we do this. People are asking questions, why should I do this? What do I get from doing this? What are the risks involved in doing this? Youth are asking questions. Nigerians, we've been asking questions for a lot of time, not as loudly. We had the NSAS where the youth asked a lot of questions. We saw how that ended. Now, the protest in Kenya was an upgrade to an NSAS, understand? It shows the resilience of our youth that the thing is, power belongs to the people. That's just it. People in government need to realize that power belongs to the people. You are only in government because the people choose to let you be in government. So any policies you are making that is anti-people means you want to go. Unlike Kenya where they have to protest, here in UK they did it with their vote. Instead of protesting and saying we don't want this, they took him out with the vote. We need to imbibe that culture too in Nigeria. We don't have to be violent about everything. Once the government is not doing things that they promised us during the manifesto, during their campaigns, let's speak with our vote. We don't have to be, it's my party, it's my person with emotions. No, we should think about the country first. What do I get to derive from these government policies as a person? How does it affect me? How does it affect my family? How does it affect the closest person in my community? Once people in government realize how important we the citizens are, how important the masses are, they will sit tight. The mistake the president of Kenya did by passing those laws, he won't make it again. You know why? Because a statement has been made. Though it was violent, but a statement has been made. Because if he does it again, then they will speak with a vote. We don't have to resort to violence, understand, to speak now. We are seeing it, it happened in France, it happened in the UK. I pray the wave also gets to Africa, and we have to do things by the books, not by violence, not by police shooting at us. Let us start making decisions, making our voice heard through our vote. Once the government is not performing according to what you are promising us, according to what we are expecting, let us get them out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeniyi Williams, for joining me on the show today, all the way from Scotland, to look at the outcome of the election that was held yesterday all over UK, from Wales to England to Scotland to Ireland. It was a massive show of disaster for Sunak and the tourists generally, and I'm sure they will sit back and lick their wounds and look for the next line of action for them. Unfortunately, it looks like the people of UK are ready to give maybe Labour an opportunity this time around. And the new Prime Minister elect said, Sir Keir Starmer, he said public service is a privilege. I really hope that Nigerian leaders will take a cue from this and understand the fact that if you don't do what you promise the people, you'll be out. And hopefully as well, the followers will understand that they have the power to retain who they choose to retain and send out who they decide to send out. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeniyi Williams, for spending time with me in the Situation Room, live in the city of Lagos today.
Thank you for having me.
Regards to everyone over there. Stay safe.
I just about Nigeria.
Echoes from the other side, and it's a global conversation right now. So every election, from the US to the UK to Germany to France, would always have effect one way or the other, directly or indirectly. I've spoken to a lot of contact in the UK as a build up to this election, and one of the things I found out is that for the very first time, the issue of race did not play in this election. People decided to vote against the Conservative on the back of the fact that their immigration policies are affecting their friends that are immigrants. That's it's different. People understand that the world is a global village now. People can move within anywhere, any space, as long as the movement is within the demands of the law. That means I can move as long as I'm contributing my quota, I'm paying my tax regularly, I'm opening up stores, I'm also an employer of labor, I'm earning and I'm giving back into the society. Why would you think I should be thrown out? More so, you that are championing the cause of the immigrant, or against the immigrant, you're also an immigrant, thoroughbred Indian, father, mother Indian. In fact, I was reading this morning about 𝐄𝐂𝐇𝐎, and I found out that at some point the family even migrated to Africa before they moved back to the United Kingdom. Well, the decision has been made and is a learning opportunity for Nigerians. They have the power to choose and decide who gets what or not. Your life on Mainland FM is the Situation Room, and I want to specially invite you to join the conversation. I'm seeing your messages, I'm seeing your feedbacks on Facebook and your direct text. I'll pick them. 0913-600-0410, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. I'm trying to link up with my guest in Sunderland. Is a doctor, yes, an associate professor actually with University of Sunderland. I'm also trying to link up with him to see his own perspective about it. Well, let me break it down to you. He's a conservative, so I've been seeing his tweet and his post all day. He's still hurting from the outcome of that election. That's why I'm so particular about listening to his perspective. But hopefully we're able to link up with him. But in the meantime, let me pick your calls. 0913-600-0410. Hello, Pastor Ambrose.
Good evening, my friend.
You're welcome.
Yes, I called you. Okay. The lesson here is that we should learn to have a free, fair, and credible election. The conservatives didn't say because they are in power they were going to rig the election. They allowed the people's vote to count. And another lesson that I found out was that people who voted, there was nothing like sit at home. People voted and they went about their normal business. Am I correct?
I'm with you, Pastor Ambrose.
And I'm looking at it where how will somebody that I'm sentimentally attached to that gets into government, how will his election help me if he does not bring policies that will suit me? What happened in UK, as far as I'm concerned, is that the people saw that there was a policy that was not friendly to them and they voted massively against it. But in Nigeria here, when it's time for election now, they would begin to throw all kinds of cards, religion, ethnicity, and all of that. And more worsening is that they will now rig the election all over the federation. Election is not rigged in a particular selection was very, very shameful, very, very disappointing. And from Nigeria, that it should please fair and credible
Thank
election.
you, Pastor Ambrose.
When there is fair and credible election, or where Nigerians will begin to see good governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. Let me read some of your messages that I'm getting at the moment. This is a long one, and it says, wow, lessons from the UK general elections. 1, it was free, fair, and credible. The loser considered defeat and congratulated the winner. The country moved on. No contention in court, no interpretation from the High Court, no anxiety, no talk to those ideology. In some countries, do more or different. Okay, just a pencil to your preferred candidate or party is all that is required in some countries' election. Number 7, Africans contested for about 45 seats out of the 326 seats won by the Labour. To shock you, most of those African descent are from Nigerians. In some countries, it is still a mirage to contest for political office outside of your roots. What a pity. Obama was a Kenyan descent. He ruled as 44th American president, as one of the most powerful countries in the world. In some countries, they don't mind causing chaos just because you are half or half caste. J.J. Rawlings was also a Scottish via one of the parents, yet he ruled Ghana as a military and as a civilian president. Rishi Sunak, outgoing Prime Minister of UK, is an Indian descent. Despite not being a Christian, he read a text in the Bible during the burial ceremony of the Queen Elizabeth II, the second rather. His role as a Prime Minister permits him to do that. In some countries, ethnicity, religion, culture, ideology holding them back till tomorrow. Number 10. Scottish Prime Minister and former Health Secretary Humza Yousaf within the United Kingdom is not a first citizen there, he is a descent from Pakistan. Africans have a lot to learn from these nations. They committed their wealth, health, security, economy, politics, education, defense, international diplomacy to the best hands and brain within them, irrespective of his or her color, tribe, mother tongue, stature, race, origin, or descendant. Thank you very much for this one. Sign SEA. Okay, thank you. I had to just take my time to go through it because I really like the content of that message. Thank you very much. Let us pray for the survival of Tinubu and APC ahead of 2027 election. After this period, they should also go. Anybody who tries to rig election in Nigeria should prepare for the worst. Prince Ojo from Lagos. You didn't use the word worst, but that's like the best I could use to replace the exact word that you used. Your guest said that instead of protesting against the government, we should do it with our vote. Don't forget we did it last year by voting for the right candidate, but the INEC chairman did the bidding of the ruling party by saying there was a glitch when they noticed that the Labour Party was winning. Well, you cannot substantiate that, but I'm only reading it because it's your message. Taiwo from Ota, you said the party was winning, threatening and suppressing and disenfranchising the voters. The truth is that Nigeria is not ripe for democracy. Simple and short. That's Taiwo from Ota. Thank you very much. Indicating the election, it was done within 24 hours and the result was announced the same day. Unlike what we have in this country, where there are intimidations, INEC would come late to the venue, they would tell us that technical glitches, they will change results and tell us to go to court. Thank you very much, Dio from Fagba. Okay, we're talking about the United Kingdom. We talk about a place where things are working, where system is not compromised by anyone who has taken bribe. What happened in the 2023 election in Nigeria when INEC chairman tells okay, let me skip that part. The judiciary in the UK is far different from the judiciary here, when the highest bidder gets justice in the name of technicalities instead of fact. The UK is not a place where the politicians' campaign promises rest online, which is what we do here in Nigeria. Okay, he just went on and on and on like that. Benjamin from Shogunle. I'm just trying to take all of the messages, then we can go and start picking your calls. This one says the UK election is a reflection of the minds of a typical British person. They believe in change more than ethnic bias. They believe in progress more than tribe. They believe in favors. Okay, they believe in labor more than favor. Okay, and I hope we get to that point in Nigeria where the conversation would work. Thanks to Mr. Williams for sharing his experience with us. It seems he just left Nigeria. Thank you very much. First thoughts from Ikorodu. And let me pick your calls. Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to have you on the show.
18.
Your name and where you calling from?
18.
Okay, Pastor Etim, good to have you on the show.
Yeah. The election that took place in UK. It's not the politicians in Nigeria, they can't learn a lesson because they believe in election rigging and hijacking the judiciary process. It is the masses that they should learn lessons from what happened in British. Then, before coming election, coming 2027, all these privileges of ethnicity, tribalism, religiosity, it will not take place. Two major roles because Nigeria has suffered enough. I'm a APC member, but I promise you, come 2027, APC, if as soon as APC handed over their ticket to Tinubu, we will see mass defection that ever happened in the political history of Nigeria that will hit APC. Some people will go, some of us will go, we'll leave them. Then some will remain in the party to work against Tinubu, even Wike and the Senate President Akpabio. they work against Tinubu. If Tinubu, Wike can betray Jonathan, who make him the governor of a river state, is it Tinubu that is not his brother? Don't worry. There are many things on the way.
Pastor Etim, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did Jonathan make Wike the governor of Rivers? I thought the people of Rivers voted for Wike.
I participated in that election. We know what happened there.
Ow.
Let me tell you what happened.
No. Pastor Etim, don't worry. Don't worry. Just spare us the details. Don't worry. 0913-600-0410. We're just looking at echoes from the other side. Just having conversation around the UK election. Everything started and ended in 24 hours. Results were announced, winners were announced. There were collation across all of the constituencies, over 400 of them. Interesting times. There's nothing more to say about the clean and smooth process of the UK election. However, we should also say shame to both our political gladiators and the British collaborators who are aiding and watching how we're going down the drain and the dungeon. Shame to any of our political jobbers who we call the newly elected Prime Minister to congratulate him while they are squeezing us to death with their own ways. This is Steve from 𝐒𝐓𝐃𝐄. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome, Mr. Laiwola.
This is Olayola from Jai. My question I want to ask is that if you see the way the election conducting in UK, you will know that they didn't use the polling booth there. Everybody go to the canteen to cast their vote. You can even go there from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to go and vote. Where you are on duty on the morning can go to the work and go back, because the person that I spoke to him is not my colleagues at work before that migrating to the UK. He said the election is about to go to the polling booth, but if they have a job in the morning, in the afternoon, when coming back, they just go to the canteen and catch your vote. It will make it easy there. It's not that they declare state of emergency, no movement. And the second aspect of that election is, if you look at it, it's not going to the court process here that we challenge the result. They conduct election yesterday, and they win, and they declare the winner today, and they will turn in the prime minister.
No court, no swearing in delayed. The cabinet will be ready and sworn in on Monday.
Sworn in on Monday instantly. See their own pattern. But our own here, we see it in the different method that we use. Almost 6 months, we have never get a minister. We don't even know the person that's going to be a prime minister. But now they already know the person. They are never sworn in already. They already know the person that's going to be a prime minister. Instantly, this is the issue. Is different in entirely. If you talk about the government policy concerning the high cost of living, I think the high cost of living is not about Nigeria. Because if you go to the France now, they are about to do the.
Hello, Mr. Laiwola. Don't worry, we'll still have enough time. We'll take our first break by 5 o'clock, and then we'll take deadline news and also quickly pay some bills. And by 5:05, the show would return. I will continue to pick your calls. What are the echoes, and how loud are these echoes from the other side? We're reflecting on the UK election, and I'm really loving the perspective. I spoke on the phone all the way from Scotland with Mr. Denny Williams, a Nigerian migrants that just voted for the first time, and he shared his experience, more importantly the determining factors that led to the Conservative recording their worst victory in over 100 years of the existence of that political party. Crazy, you say. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Open.
You're welcome, 𝐒𝐿.
Thank you, my brother. When you look at what happened in the UK, we can't be surprised about anything, because even starting from their law and everything, the structure is on ground that the election must be free and fair, no matter what it is.
Exactly, it's about the structure.
Yeah.
There are institutions that would help you make election easy.
Exactly. So we cannot jump and get the other two are trying to do it. That was why we are talking of electoral act. So it's not yet perfect. So when you are talking of lessons, it is our leaders, politicians, that need to learn lessons there and feel ashamed when they see certain things. And go do things of that kind of thing. We will change.
I'm sure a lot of our leaders will attend the inauguration, by the way. Trust us.
That is the thing. And they will come back here, continue what they are doing. Yes, they will come back here, continue what they are doing. So that's the problem. If the present president today decides that we have credible and beautiful election that will almost be close to what we are seeing right now. It is possible, I tell you. It's possible. But the desperation is the problem. And then coming to the masses, do you know that bragging right is even more important than performance as far as some people, the Nigerians are concerned?
My party beats your party.
Right, it's Omoalo and Beck. It's no, the man is an evil man. I'm an evil man, you know. And it's more important to some people than what did this man offer. Look at how Nigeria is as we are speaking right now. Look at no direction, nothing. Everything is in mess as we speak. But thank you.
Thank you very much, 𝐄𝐂𝐇𝐎. I have a lot of message on Facebook, but I'm not going to touch that until we come back after our first break to take deadline. Let me quickly talk to Mr. Lucky.
Hey, Okpa, good evening.
You're welcome.
I was afraid. I didn't know to pick my colleague.
No worry, I deal with you.
You know what? You know what? I'm happy. I'm just laughing since when Mr. 18. Well, that's why I know that this present government, Tinubu, I don't think he will get one vote because this person like 18.
And why won't he get one vote? Won't he vote for himself?
Make me and family because 18 was one of the strongest members in APC. For him to say this today, I know that the man really performed.
He don't touch body.
He touch it. And Baba Lakpe, what I say? Remain peace wise and this my brother from Mushi. What I say?
Mr. Lucky, I will have to take you out now, and I will appreciate if you call me back after 5 o'clock. I'm just going to quickly take the headline news and also pay some bills. Then the program returns. We're analyzing the outcome of the UK election last night. The results were announced yesterday night, and I had a guest join me all the way from Scotland, Mr. Danny Williams, talking us through the experience and the difference between what he's used to while he's in Nigeria and what he experienced yesterday. He said he exercised in franchise in less than 5 minutes. The show returns in 5 minutes.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Aidatiwa signs bill to increase number of Ondo judges to 35. Pro-Fubara lawmakers resume legislative sittings, proposes 2 bills. APC national chairmanship seat, court fixes September 18th to decide Ganduje's fate. Tinubu OP congratulates UK Labour leader Starmer over election win. On the foreign scene, new UK Prime Minister Starmer vows to rebuild Britain after election win. Major Democratic donors pressure Biden to step down after debate, threaten to withhold funding. In sports, FIFA president congratulates Rangers FC on being crowned 2023-24 NPFL champions. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. Spot that smartphone you've been eyeing? That one that seems just out of reach because of its hefty price tag? Hold up, MTN has got your back, bringing you an effortless way to snag your dream phone without emptying your pocket with Easy Buy. Choose any phone you fancy and conveniently spread the payment over 3 to 12 months. Keep your budget intact and your smartphone dreams. But wait, there's more. Not only do you get to enjoy budget-friendly payment option, but you also enjoy up to 10 gig free MTN data. Now, that's a steal. Don't watch your dream phone slip away. What are you waiting for? Visit the nearest mobile phone retail outlet. Look for the Easy Buy agent. Terms and conditions apply. MTN. What are you doing
To cook correct food, they always give me joy. That's why anytime when I cook like this, I dey always season am with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatashe, shombo, onions. No one wey I no dey put. Na im make my pikin dem dey always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
Fixing your damaged phone just feels like a lot of wahala and can be very expensive, right? But not anymore. MTN is here with a solution to help you protect your phones. Accident happens. So imagine this. Your phone falls into water. No wahala. Your screen cracks. No wahala. Your phone gets burned. No wahala. Why? Because accidental damages are also covered. Even if you're lazy like me and cannot cope with the stress of getting your phone fixed, your damaged phone will be picked up, fixed and dropped off, all while you chill at home. And the best part is, you also enjoy free MTN data when you purchase any device protection plan. Seriously, who doesn't love free data? You also enjoy free MTN data when you purchase any device protection plan. To enjoy your device with peace of mind, visit mtn.ng/device services to get your protected Attention everyone, this is an important message about cholera.
Cholera is a serious disease, but we can stop it together.
Remember to always drink clean, safe water. Boil or treat your water before drinking.
Wash your hands with soap and clean water, especially before eating and after using the toilet.
Cook your food thoroughly and eat it while it is hot.
Keep your surroundings clean and dispose of waste properly.
If you or anyone you know shows symptoms like severe diarrhea or vomiting, seek medical help immediately.
So together, we can beat cholera and keep our community healthy.
This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM, Lagos. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Correct food, they always give me joy. That's why anytime when I cook like this, I dey always season am with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatashe, shombo, onions. No one wey I no dey put. Na im make my pikin dem dey always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
So babes, don't you think the radio is so boring these days?
Well, it depends on what you need. I just discovered a new sound. My mother, making you fall like that. Yes, I am totally hooked to 98.3. That sound slaps and it makes so much sense. I vibe, I learn, and I definitely enjoy the groove.
The sound of Lagos.
Things seems anxious and uncertain. I understand. I wish we have our conversations. Yes, now.
In our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere it can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join OPEYEMI AKINYODE as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and PM on your super dial.
Don't forget to join us by 5:30 for the full bulletin, and by 6 o'clock we'll come back for Sports Cruise on Milan 98.3 FM. By the way, the first of the 4 quarterfinal fixtures at the ongoing European Championship just kicked off about 8 minutes ago, and it's Spain playing against the host nation Germany. Well, first casualty, Pedri, have been substituted for Olmo. Bad injury there, but don't worry, you get all of that and more by 6 o'clock. So let's get back into the situation room. Before we went on that break, we had conversation around echoes from the other side. We had a review of the UK election that was held yesterday. I had Mr. Denny Williams join me all the way from Scotland to take us through his experience as the first voter, and what were the factors that really contributed to the very terrible loss of the Conservatives, the first and like the worst the first in 14 years and the worst they've had in over 100 years of history of the party? Well, new change. There's a new prime minister right now, and his name is Sir Keir Starmer, and he says public office is a privilege. He's coming with something new, maybe something different, and I'm just looking at some of the messages, and it's really interesting how far we are from the conservative nature of the UK election. Everything happened so fast. My guest told me that in less than 5 minutes he had voted and he was back to his house. In fact, if you're too busy, you can't go, you can request for your vote to be sent in via mail, and then you respond immediately. Those are institutions that helps to deepen democracy. Hopefully Nigeria will get it right one of these days. 0913-600-0410. Let me quickly go on Facebook. Wow, I have loads of messages here, but let me see how much I can go through all of your messages. So 𝐄𝐂𝐇𝐎 on Facebook is talking to us, and it says the caller that contributed that the election ended smoothly because people voted while at work is brilliant. That's my guess. Thank you very much. Big shout out to Mr. Denny Williams. He said in Nigeria, when no work and free movement, boss declared for election, people travel to their hometowns or far residences to spend their time where they never registered, and as a result they would have no voter usefulness. They would rather be used by politicians to foment trouble in order to feed. The people are also better well fed in the UK, not to think of compromising their promises. For example, look at what the president is doing with minimum wage negotiation after he inflicted the people with untold hardship. What do you think would happen now if you called for election as that of Edo and Ondo? Recommendations. Look, I had participated in essay competitions in the last Ways committee call before submitting the reports, and let me tell you, in my write-up, we were the ones that recommended the Ways electoral reforms to the government. They can call me for the manuscript. I still have it in my library. That's 𝐄𝐂𝐇𝐎 Thompson from Obanikoro. Onotoye Temitope Michael is also talking to us on Facebook, and he says it's unfortunate that all we only do is to keep talking, discussing and narrating the lessons we've learned from the credible elections of other civilized countries like the recent election just concluded in UK, without INEC critically looking at ways to implement some of it, and if not all, that would bring about free, fair and credible elections in our country. The political gladiators who have appointed the INEC chairman are not helping matters because they are also desperate for power. The only time we will have a credible election is when we have a good electoral process and a strong judicial system that would never compromise. Olorun Agbawa. Thank you very much, Temitope Onotoye. Larry Olakomi says we in Nigeria is a learning curve, which I think it will continue to witness more improvement with time. Who is Etim? One caller is referring to as being Okay, let me leave that. Don't let us attack personality. Kabira Adegbero says Nigeria needs to learn lessons from the just concluded elections in the UK. No rigging, no violence. God bless my country, and God bless you too. Back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Okay, good evening.
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Don Peter.
Good to have you today.
Okay, I've been laughing there, but before I tell you why I'm laughing there, let me tell you about this, your job that you are doing. Okay, I don't have any doubt in my mind that you mean well for this country and for humanity. I've been telling you this time without number, and I have my reasons why I'm telling you. I was talking to my kid brother yesterday, no, early this morning, I mean to say, about this UK election. Okay, to my surprise, my kid brother told me he voted yesterday, and I was shocked. I said, you are not a citizen, you only have a resident. And he told me that he is working and he pays his tax, so on that he's entitled to vote. And I said, okay, tell me more. Why did you vote? Is it because of the Labour Party in Nigeria? He said no. He said he voted based on his conviction. You understand? That all the contestants laid down their policies and then weigh it, and they made their choice. And thank God the choice they made won. But surprising thing is this: other seats they contested for, people from African descent contested also, and all of them won.
A lot of them.
I said, number one, you are not a citizen. Like, as I want to put it to him, you are an Igbo man based in the UK, you based in Southampton. How come they allow you to vote? He laughed.
Is the defeated Prime Minister Sunik is actually from Southampton.
Yeah, that is what he told me.
He's from Southampton.
He said they are looking for the brain, the capacity, not where you come from. And I was shocked. I said, if these people that is developed this way, I was just playing a card that maybe I have not been to Europe before. Okay? I was just being naive, and I was just asking stupid questions from him. And to my greatest surprise, he answered me. So, Nigerians, you pick your lessons. But do you know why I'm laughing? You don't know one of our callers. In the name of ethics, he called this afternoon. Jesus.
Hey, Dan,
This
please
guy.
leave my friend. Leave Mr. Etim.
I'm not talking about him.
Leave Mr. Etim, please. Leave him. When you admit whatever it is, leave him. Leave Mr. Please, everybody should leave Mr. Etim alone, please. Everybody should leave Mr. Etim alone. Let me talk to Pastor Adiola.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for joining me on the show today.
Yes. You are talking about UK election.
Yes. Your name or where you calling from?
I'm Pastor Badamosi from Surulere.
I know. Thank you.
Yes. So you cannot really compare that place and our place. You see, it's an evolution. It's an evolution. Democracy is like an evolution. Like, in the UK or advanced countries, it's almost a religion, like Islam or Christianity. They've been there for long, and you cannot cheat there. You cannot do anything there. But we are just coming up. People cannot. People who have gone for Yam Festival and come start to talk nonsense in Lagos here. So people know history, and we know what we are talking about. So if you cannot be talking anything anyhow on the radio. It's not good. You see, it's an evolution, and we are going to get there one day. Thank you very much.
No. Just hang on a bit. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me ask you something. First off, nobody comes to talk anyhow on radio. People have the right to express what they feel about the process. It's okay, Pastor. But more importantly, we're always looking for positive examples to tell ourselves that we can get it right. We're not saying even the US election is perfect. I remember on that President George Bush, there was a particular county where they saw printed ballot boxes floating on water. So it's not like there's a perfect election anywhere. It is just that the process needs to be improved on. So when we sign Electoral Act and we say the beavers work, and we say the 𝐼REV would also work, then it should be made to work. So that's exactly what we're picking. We're not saying we have a dead process or a dead system. I can tell you for a fact that there are a lot of people that won election in this country and they can defend their mandate anywhere. Take it to any court, take it to the court in UK, they will defend their mandate. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're just picking the right lessons so that we can make progress from there. Thank you very much. Well, we got messages already. Mr. Etim is calling back. I will not pick this call. Please don't turn my show to a debate. Okay, straight one. This one says, in addition to all of the features about the UK election yesterday, all the activities took place, no services were shut down. Please, we have not started democracy here. What we have is grandstanding as democracy. We have started democracy, and we have 26 years going now, and we're going to continue to get better and make progress with that. Prince from Ojo is also texting, and he says, I submit with emphasis, if the present administration can summon the courage to implement the reports of the 2014 National Confer by Goodluck Jonathan, 2, the Oransanya Committee, 3, the Justice Mohammed Uwais Electoral Reforms Committee, Nigeria will certainly join the Committee of Advanced and Developed Nations in the world. Mr. Lakunle, good evening.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you very much.
Sorry that I'm just joining the show, but I know you're talking about the UK election vis-a-vis Nigeria's election.
True.
For me, I feel Nigeria's election has come of age compared to what we used to do in '99 till today. Today we have a beaver system that works. Today we have a beaver system that has given us 8 diverse parties in our National Assembly. It has never happened in Nigeria. Through beavers, we've been able to have a real president, just having probably about 8.7 million votes to win. Prior to now, we used to have 12 million and above. So we are moving better, we are moving quicker, we are moving faster. But the difference between Nigeria and UK are far and wide. The number of years they've had their elections and democracy is also longer. So for me in Nigeria, we can only